everyone, I hope you're all well. Today's video is going to be... There's something that's been on my mind for a good couple months now, and I've just not had the chance to sit down and talk about it. I was still really thinking deeply about the topic before talking about it because it is quite controversial. I'm going to discuss the topic of the difficulties of being a hijabi Muslim blogger, and specifically YouTuber. As you guys can tell, I read a religious article, which is my hijab, and it's part of my identity, it's part of my work, it's part of my blogging identity kind of thing. And you can tell straight away from looking at me that I am a Muslim. There's a few things that I want to talk about, a few nitty-gritty topics, but there's one major topic that's going to be the bulk of this video, which I'm going to get to in a moment. But first of all, I want to talk about some general difficulties and problems and issues I, as a hijabi blogger, have noticed and experienced during my 3 years of blogging so far. And the things I'm going to tell you are kind of in retrospect and compared to other bloggers who are specifically of white descent and do not wear like hijab. I've spoken to a few bloggers about this and they all agree with me, and I mean hijabi bloggers, when I tell them about my issues and kind of what I've found during this journey. Number one is the judgmental bullying. Now, generally as a blogger, you will get judgment, you will get bullying, the typical, oh you look like this, oh you look fat, oh you look, you know, that typical thing that any other blogger gets and every blogger gets, like without fail. However, unfortunately for us, we have a very, how can I say this other than the fact that it's a poisoned and troubled community, and unfortunately our brothers and sisters can't help but judge us religiously on everything we do. Spiritual and religious journey is being judged by people who don't even know us, and sometimes it can really be frustrating and it really can push people away from religion. And I've seen this so many times and I've experienced this myself. The more people try to push you and tell you that you're going to hell, the more you feel like you are a bad person and hell is where you're going, even though that's definitely not true, and nobody has the right to say that. And I think that's a huge problem in the Muslim society in general, because not only are we being targeted and being bullied religiously because of our religion by non-Muslims, but we're also being bullied by our own brothers and sisters, which is really disappointing. This is something that really puts me off from getting involved with a lot of people, just because people just want to know your life just so they can tell you what you're doing wrong. Another thing that really annoys me about our society and as being a blogger, and something that I found that is really annoying and it's really difficult to go through, some people will justify their bullying, they will justify accusing you, they will justify exposing you just because you have your pictures online. They say that because you have your pictures online and because you are sinning in front of everyone, that means that justifies for me to tell you you're going to hell in front of however 1,000 people, which I think is completely disrespectful. Not only are you disrespecting me, not only are you disrespecting other Muslims, but you're also giving such a horrible image of Islam to non-Muslims, which is really not nice. Now, the main topic that I wanted to bring up from the beginning, and this topic, this thing that is a big problem, is something that I've been thinking about for the past couple of months, something that I brought up to my manager, something that I brought up to a few other bloggers that I know, and I've discussed the topic with them and they completely agree with me. Being a hijabi blogger is harder than being any other person of colour blogger ever. Now, let me explain this to you a little bit and break it down. I don't know if you know who Gracie is. Gracie Victoria, I think her name is. Anyway, she made a video about being a woman of colour and a blogger, and how difficult it is to get jobs, you know, work with certain companies, especially bigger companies. Well, try being a person of colour and a hijabi. I feel like we're on the complete bottom of the hierarchy. I'll give you a very good example. I have 500 and something thousand followers on Instagram and 200 and something thousand followers on YouTube. I see girls or guys, specifically white guys and girls, I have to say, who have not even half of the following that me and many other hijabi bloggers have, but they get opportunities with the biggest brands who contact them directly. I know so many people around me who are not hijabis, and they get huge opportunities and brands contact them directly to work with them, and they get a lot of money. And honestly, I have seen some things that I was like, wow. We don't get approached by big brands unless sometimes we contact them ourselves, and I don't really like doing that. I don't really contact brands myself. I rarely ever do that. I might have done that once or twice. But other than that, I really don't like contacting people, because then they won't really pay you. They'll think that, oh, she's just begging to work with us. Knowing that you are worth so much, knowing that you are capable of so much, but people don't see that and companies don't see that, and that's why we don't really make that much money, I think. Like, as I said, other people get huge paychecks and they don't even have half the following or half of the traffic. The numbers are sickening, you know. I literally felt sick when I saw some of these things. I was like, this is so crazy, because just because I wear a hijab, and it's obviously because of the hijab, what else is it gonna be? And because I'm a person of colour, what else is it gonna be? But mainly it's the hijab, because it's a huge symbol of a religion, and I think some companies are not really comfortable with that, and I feel like companies need to start waking up, because modest fashion and hijab fashion has become a huge thing, and it's becoming worldwide very, very, very quickly. So many companies are even starting to create modest clothing, just like D&G created the Abaya line. This is something that seriously frustrates me, but it's hidden racism, because they don't tell you outright, I don't want to work with you because you have a hijab. They just will not involve themselves with you. Also seeing so many companies, instead of actually being authentic and contacting hijabi bloggers or actual Muslim women, they will get random non-Muslims and people who don't understand the struggle of the hijab or anything to be modeling their hijabi lines and advertising their modest fashion lines, which is very disappointing as well. So I call out to all these big companies to change, to stop targeting white middle class bloggers. I urged them to start working with people like us, women of colour, especially women who wear hijab, because we are beginning to be a part of a huge market that you are missing out on. And as I've said, I've spoken to many other bloggers who completely agree with me on this topic, and it's something that we just see ourselves like we have to work 10 million times harder than other bloggers just because of this. So yeah, those are my main difficulties and the things I've really noticed about being a hijabi blogger and being a woman of colour. If you're a blogger and you face similar problems or different problems, comment below and tell me the problems you faced. So let's get a conversation going in the comments of this video, and let me not be negative for the whole video and just say thank you so much to everybody who's actually supported me and who's actually been a pleasure to work with. Thank you for everyone who would do anything to be a helping hand and who is loyal to my social media pages and my YouTube channel. I really, really appreciate everything you do, and I can't wait to give back to you guys. I have so many things that I'm planning in the next following weeks that I can't wait to share with you. I'm so excited, but in the meantime, I just want to say thank you. May God bless you. I hope you learned something new from this video, and I will see you guys in my next one.